Welcome to the Sedaru Live podcast. Kevin Koshko, our Chief Product Officer. Are you there?
I am here. How are you, Adam?
I'm great. I'm Adam Simonson, Director of Enterprise Solutions. We are doing a very special podcast today, which makes me think, Kevin, have we ever done one that's not special?
No, they've always been special, and they're each a unique snowflake, and this one is no different. So.
Isn't that like the Department of Redundancy department to say unique snowflake? Like all snowflakes unique.
Oh, gotcha.
Right, that's all right. We're joined today also by our marketing guru, Dave Twitchell, as well. Dave's going to be helping us out with this podcast. Normally, Dave's behind the scenes producing it, but we asked him to get involved here today to keep us on task and to make sure we don't say anything we're not supposed to say. Is that right, Dave?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Nice, good. It's been a great year on the Sedaru world. If you're watching this on YouTube or some video platform, we're going to walk through some slides and pictures of things. Otherwise, if you're listening to this in your car or just listening to it on audio, you'll miss out on some of that stuff. But it's been a really fun year. You take a look at some of these pictures up here, Kevin. There's good memories packed into here a little bit. Right.
Yeah, I mean, this was kind of a banner year for us. I mean, we did a lot of things, a lot of new functionality within the app, but just a lot of things going on with the company. This is a really cool representation of what we've been.
Which one of these pictures up here is your favorite?
Gosh, I mean, the zombie knocking out a 12-inch main and causing a main break is pretty darn good.
That is pretty good.
Yeah.
I kind of personally, there's a picture on here of our CTO along with our one of our software team who's like in charge of releases and managing that, and it pretty much looks like they're harassing one of the customers, like
right.
taking out, like they're like, use it now, do it now, which is couldn't be farther from their personality. So I like how the picture looks like on it. So Shri, if you're listening to this, you know you're looking good, man.
That's
good.
Right.
Hey, if you're not already following us on social media, get on it. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. You found this podcast somehow, so congratulations to you on that. I did get some updated rankings, Kevin, so you know we are now the #1 rated water-focused software technology podcast on iTunes.
I love it. That is fantastic. And I'm not surprised. I mean, we've really bulldozed this industry quite a bit, and
it's a crowded space. It
is, but we swam to the top, and here we are, and
right.
Let's enjoy that on the mountaintop right now.
That's a good point. And I will tell you, I was having this conversation with my 11-year-old son the other night. So he was telling me about this website called, and I'm going to screw it up now, I think it's called Social Blade, but it's where you can basically see how popular your social media channels are. And so we were having a conversation about YouTube channels,
Nice.
And he basically berating me that, there's a few 5th graders that are crushing us. Their YouTube presence.
All right.
I mean, and these are mundane, boring 5th graders.
Yeah.
There's videos of people of 5th graders arguing about their friends playing Minecraft.
Yeah, that is just
are getting more subscribers than us, so let's work on that a little bit. That's going to be a 2019 goal, that we're going to crush most 5th graders' YouTube channels.
That's perfect. As long as the 5th grade channel doesn't involve anything like gaming or opening presents or toys or
right.
doing any sort of electronics review, anything related to technology. Should I go on?
I think what we should start doing, Kevin. This is another thing for you. I think you should start doing some Sedaru unboxing videos.
That's a good idea, right? We need to, Dave. Can you work on some Sedaru boxes, and then I will unbox them.
Totally. Yeah, we'll get some Sedaru wrapping paper, and we'll put some stuff from the office here, and you can unbox, our office supplies and all sorts of crazy stuff. Yeah.
Look, a stapler. I can't wait.
I think that's perfect. All right, our first topic. All right, so here's the plan. We've got, 10 topics, something like that. We're going to try to spend a minute or two on each one. So if you don't like what we're talking about, just hang on for a minute. We'll talk about something else.
Mm-hmm.
So we're good. All right, Kevin, call before you dig. What do you think? We did some cool stuff here this year.
We did. One of my favorite parts of it was the automation. So getting the tickets, being able to process that, and then just put it into like a GIS feature, as well as creating a work order for that. Really kind of opens up a lot of opportunities, and Sedaru for Field Force, being able to use that and have a real easy user experience around it. But also, we've had some interesting conversations with just being able to create the tickets and have that for a utility to use within anything within their enterprise environment, which is kind of cool. So, I think there's a lot of opportunity there just outside of the, using it just to.
Well, for those of you that don't know, I mean, we added this functionality to automatically incorporate 811 tickets into Sedaru, push them out to your mobile devices, right? If in 2019, at the end of 2019, I still hear, I mean, I heard this from people where they're not even bothering with email. They still get a fax printout of their 811 ticket. And it makes me like openly weep a little bit.
Yeah. There's no reason for a fax. I mean, like they couldn't possibly make them anymore, do they?
No, they make fax machines, and people still like have them, but every time that fax gets sent, like an angel dies or something.
Right. I think what they do is they ship them off to the rental car companies for them to be used as their main source of communication. Right,
exactly. So, call before you dig. I'm excited. I think it's something that's going to help out every really every customer.
So you hit your 2 minutes there. So we're gonna keep it moving to our next topic.
Great.
I thought this was a good idea to have Dave Twitchell on this. Now I'm regretting it already. All right.
My first and last Sedaru Live podcast.
That's it.
All right, real time Internet of Things. Kevin, talk to us about your Wi-Fi enabled refrigerator.
You know what? Let me tell you, I got beef with IoT. I always have the name of it, like as it relates to our industry. Because I always think of like you said, the Wi-Fi refrigerator, the toaster that connects to your Amazon Alexa and tells you when it's toasted. Like all those things to me like seem kind of useless. But I think in the water utility space, I think there's, I don't know, I struggle with the IoT name for it, but I love the fact that we're able to get real-time data and do smart things with it, and I think it's just in its infancy. So
I agree with you. Internet of Things as a name is stupid. Mm-hmm. So let's stop using that one because I think it's a goofball name. But there's no doubt about it. The amount of data coming in a real-time fashion from sensors and all of that and coming into the utility is exploding. And we're doing cool stuff with that. So that's fun. Yeah. That's fun. I'm way into that. I think we're gonna I think again in 2019 we're gonna see some really cool stuff that's coming out of what we're doing, and your ability to start having a sensor on this thing and that thing and that thing is kind of useless if you can't figure out and have an interface and a way to bring it in together.
That's right. Bring it in together and then take action on it, do some prediction because of it. Now that we have all this sensor out there, now we can actually do something really meaningful with it versus just tell us what we already know.
Yeah, agreed. So what should we say instead of Internet of Things? What's a better term?
I like Internet of Stuff.
Internet of Stuff.
Yeah, I think that's a much cleaner name. I think it totally encompasses the water utility space and.
Yeah, Internet of Thingamajigs.
There you go.
I'm doing that. All right, cool. Look. All right, best travel. What was your best worst travel experience this year, Kevin?
So thinking about it, like I'll tell you the stupidest thing that I've done this year. So took my wife. We went to a wedding. Booked the flight. It was in April, and I actually booked it on points. So I was all excited about it. And then we get there, everything was great. We go to travel back on the last day, and they're like, we don't see any reservation for you. Wow. And this is like Sunday, we're trying to get back. Sarah's got work, I got work the next day. And they're like, dude, there's no record, sorry. And then there's no flights, by the way. So I'm like, what are you talking about?
Where
like,
were you?
This was in Fort Myers, Florida.
Nice. Okay.
So they're like, yeah, we see. Oh yeah, you're returning not April 23rd, May 23rd.
Perfect.
I'm like, oh good. So I put the wrong month in when I was booking the flight, and then I even have like this app that tells me like, oh okay, here's the airfare and then your hotel, and it puts it all together. I'm like, stupid app told me it was like May 25th that I'm coming back. Dumb app. And then like so I blamed it on it, and I was the horse's ass the whole time. It just put the wrong date in. Luckily, we got back in time. We were able to work it out. But man, that was pretty dumb.
That's not good. That's not good. That's really funny. I have done that before though, where I have shown up places. I actually showed up somewhere and then went to do something, and I can't remember, and then realized I had booked the return flight for like an hour after I landed on the place that I got there.
Yeah, right.
I can't remember why it came up, but I was like checking something. It was like, oh, it's time for you to check in, and I was like, well, that's weird.
Yeah.
So I've done the same thing. I'll tell you my let's see. I'll go. Let me do best first, right? Best. I did this like extra long weekend in Paris in April, and got engaged. So like that's a pretty good. That's a solid travel. Travel experience. Worst travel experience? I fly Southwest a lot, right? So where I am, I often have lots of connections through BWI, and I've just spent too many times like where I've gotten stuck at BWI, right? And I have family in the area, so it's not too bad sometimes, but I've also just spent a lot of times at airport hotels. At one time, I forget when, it was over the summer, so I get stuck at the airport, I book a hotel that's like an airport, I don't know, Marriott of some kind, right? And call the hotel and say, yep, gotta come get me with your shuttle. So they're like, go meet the shuttle. I go out there. There's an airport Marriott shuttle. I get on the shuttle, drive to the hotel with a whole bunch of other people, not the hotel that I'm actually staying at when we get there. And I'm like, this is my hotel. And he's like, oh yeah, you got on the wrong shuttle.
Nice.
So I was like,
that's
all
the
right.
other hotel Marriott. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll just get out and I'll just get an Uber, and go find the hotel. The guy's like, no, I'll take you over there. Don't worry about it. Just, I got to go make 2 stops. We'll get you right over there. Man. And then we start driving. He's like, it's so good to have a co-pilot, he says to me, the shuttle driver. And I'm thinking, like, what is he talking about, man? Like, I'm on this shuttle for 45 minutes. The guy made like 9 stops. He stopped at a local casino. He stopped at like 3 other hotels. It's like 11 o'clock at night. I got to get up for a 5 a.m. flight the next morning at this point, And he's like so excited to have me. It was like the nicest guy in the world. So I did like every stop I wanted to be like, dude, just let me out. Yeah. Let me out. I'm getting out. I'm going to get in the cab and just go where I'm supposed to be going.
Right. Like he meant like wingman, not co-pilot. Like, so you guys got to go out and like, yeah, we're going to go get some chicks. It's going to be great.
Exactly. So it's fun, good times. Emergency preparedness, Kevin. Are you prepared?
I'm always prepared.
Yeah.
Especially for exploding houses.
What's that?
Especially for exploding houses that we see on the slide here.
Yeah, that's a fairly. I'll tell you, it's interesting, and we talk about like emergency preparedness, and every utility I see out there. I mean, I don't know. 10 years ago, this was not something most people thought about, right? And more, it's a topic that we're seeing. At the high levels, folks want to think about, in different areas of the country, different geographies have different issues, but it's become a big issue. And I'm proud of what we've done from a Sedaru perspective, whether it's, being innovative with our use of cloud architecture, creating sort of instances of Sedaru that can be stood up in an emergency to respond to things, to what I think a really simple thing is like, being able to use your hydraulic model by somebody who's not the modeler to kind of quickly run an analysis, So I know we had utilities dealing with wildfires, right? And thinking about, okay, I'm going to lose this infrastructure. You can see it ready to happen. Like, okay, but I need to keep firefighting operations going, right? So now it doesn't have to be the modeling guy. It can be the people that are, on the, sort of front lines there trying to figure some of this stuff out. So I think it's cool, and and it's certainly an area that we keep thinking about from a Sedaru side of things. Yeah,
no, that's great. I think the modeling, especially with the fires, I think that was a really neat example of how you can use that. I mean, the one thing I always kind of think of, first is always kind of, your main break and your, kind of reactive response to main breaks. And it's funny. It was like, I remember, kind of supporting, sales early on and doing things like, trying to set up meetings with people to like share, like the outage tool. And they couldn't make the meeting because they were too busy like responding to an outage. I was like, guys, you need this, like, so it's cool to see that, like, especially in some of the largest utilities in the country using it now, and seeing how it's really kind of benefiting a lot of the work that they're doing, and they're able to kind of, respond to things before it potentially happens, and understanding what that's going to take. And it's been exciting. So.
Yeah, no, I agree. And guess what I'm going to do, Kevin? I'm going to the next topic. I was trying to get ahead of the air horn.
Nice try.
I don't know whose idea was the air horn. Hundreds of thousands.
The air horn is undefeated.
Yeah, you can't argue with the air horn. Dave showed me a couple other chimes, and the other one was like the phone, like no. It's got to be something like incredibly annoying. So yeah, mission accomplished.
Just for you, Adam. Merry Christmas.
Man, it hurts. I feel bad for our hundreds of thousands of listeners out there.
That's right.
Like that are getting connected to it.
And especially with our newly awarded Best Water Utility Software Discussion Forum in Alaska.
Lower 48. Lower 48.
Oh, lower 48. Well,
lower 48.
All right. Well,
don't sell us short.
I stand corrected.
All right. Trends in the field for our field staff. What do you think, Kevin?
I mean, this is
what's the number one biggest trend you think you've seen?
Finally, putting the paper behind this. I think, sort of, it took a long time to get there, but I think it's pretty much like generally accepted now that it's like totally unacceptable to be writing stuff down on paper.
I agree with you. It's interesting because like 10 years ago, right? It was the people in the office were like, I just hate all this paper.
Mm-hmm.
The folks in the field were like, mind your own business.
Right.
Like we're okay with it. Like it doesn't, it's not no skin off my back. I can, and now what you see is the field staff going like, well, this is kind of silly that I'm writing this down on paper. And you didn't used to see either folks in the field driving as much, some of this stuff as much as you do. And,
yeah.
And then I see it like, I have the amount of people retiring at water utilities, and being, your being senior positions being replaced by somebody who is, 30 years old, who quite frankly, like doesn't have a concept of what the world was like before the internet.
Right.
Is just kind of like, dude, I'm not filling this stuff out on paper.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it. So yeah, I agree with you. I think so what do you think then, Kevin? What do you think will be the big field trend of like 2020? Like,
Yeah, I mean it's going to be baby steps, whatever it is, right? So we're not, we're not going to have some big blockbuster movement like, whoa, didn't see that coming. Like, I think we're just going to do more of the same. I think we're going to continue to have, a lot of those, kind of moving towards better technology, better experiences. But, I don't know, like you look at the things like augmented reality and VR, that's a ways out, so, I think we're just going to do a little more of the same.
I tell you what I think we're going to see. We're going to find customers. I mean, because we've been kind of ready to do more of it technology-wise. Our customers haven't been ready.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're going to see folks ready to do more with all this leak detection, survey, data information,
mm-hmm.
and more quickly put it in the hands of people in the field.
Sure.
There's kind of, I think, been that thing of we're going to do the surveys, then we're going to give them to the engineers and the office guys, and they're going to do a bunch of hocus pocus with it. And then your folks in the field just kind of keep doing what you're doing. And if we see a big leak, we'll tell you about it, But I think we're gonna, like with Sedaru being able to kind of leverage that data a little bit more and kind of wrap it into something that you can put in somebody's hands out in the field and let them more proactively tackle some of that stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we'll see. We will see. All right, next topic. I think. Here we go. Uh-oh, hang on. What was your favorite Sedaru enhancement of 2018?
Gosh, there's just so many to choose from. It's hard to pick just
like,
one.
oh, they're like my children. I can't pick one. Like, come on. Everybody knows you have a favorite child.
No, I'll pick the favorite for sure. No, for it's hard to say. I think that there's cool stuff for each app. It was really great to see our universal app. It's actually coming up on official release for both iPad and or iOS and Windows in the same framework. That just from a product and technology perspective, that's really nice to have and be able to maintain and support, a single kind of code base for regardless of what, whether you're using an iPad or a Windows, and it all having the same, functionality. Because we were able to merge in some really cool features of one into the other, like measure tools, like things, we call them source providers, where it can automatically bring in nearby attributes and fill out the form automatically. So all those things now being in one place, one platform, has been definitely one of my favorite things to see. So.
Nice. No, I mean, and it is cool. I mean, there has been just a lot of, the amount of new features, you're right, is kind of staggering in terms of what we've kind of rolled out this year. I think, I tell you what my favorite one is, right? Because it is actually, I joke, it's kind of hard to pick one. What I kind of really do love our Wox machine integration. I like the fact that you just can take your device, pair it to that Wox machine, and just be off and going, right? There's no more sort of weird, lengthy configuration to it. I don't have to do a whole bunch of crazy things. I can just do it, and then I'm capturing all this data off this Wox machine and pulling it right into Sedaru and working with it. So I think it's pretty. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, solid for sure.
Asset management trends.
All right. Yeah, I think more data equals better asset management, right? We're at long last able to kind of harness a lot of these things and make better decisions on, what we're prioritizing, and now how easy is that to do now that we have all these things. And I think with, the Internet of Stuff initiative, where you have all these sensors and all these things that you can, now do a little bit of predictive analysis, but all of that kind of feeds into, a good solid asset management plan where you have real conditions and much more real-time information at your fingertips.
Yeah. I think the trend of what I see on the asset management side of things, right, is that what's the right way of it? It's really just becoming real-time. It used to think about what I was doing from an asset management side of maintaining all the assets in my system was really it was a long-term thing, which is really true, right? You're trying to maximize and extend the life of those things. But whether I improved anything operationally in my system was kind of secondary to all that, you know? And what you see now is people saying oh, you know what? I want to real time make my operations better. Yeah. I really truly want to be more efficient. And so they're really looking for that asset management initiatives to produce results now as opposed to producing results, down the road.
Yeah.
So, and I think that'll continue to happen. And asset management, as a whole for a water utility and a city is really about connecting all your data systems together and holistically kind of tackling those things. So
yeah, and I think we'll see less and less, big stacks of paper, right? Those huge master plans and all these things that are, you print out and collect dust. All of that is changing as when we get more real time. The way that we can visualize it and take action on it is much different and much more agile, and that's very exciting.
I agree. All right, Dave Twitchell, how do we do? Do we cover our topics? Do we miss anything?
One last one for you there. Yeah, no, that was good. It was a ton of stuff that happened this year, a lot of trends and changes in the industry. So, I think we covered everything, and you didn't step too far out of line. So I think we're good there.
Right. All right. Well, that's going to wrap up Sedaru Live podcast for 2018. We're going to have to do one in 2019, kind of early 2019. I think we're going to have to do one, like you and I are going to take a trip somewhere.
Yes.
We're going to figure that out. We're putting that on the short list of things to do.
Yeah, preferably someplace awesome.
I agree. I've got a few spots in mind. Don't worry.
Great.
All right. Well, enjoy your Christmas and your New Year's and any other holidays you're celebrating, and we'll plan on talking to everybody in 2019.
Cheers. Look forward to it.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you.